Welcome to 3-week workshop in programming in C++. So in this video, I'm going to take a problem statement for showing that a concept of frame functions. Let us take a problem statement. Here the problem statement is created two separate class to maintain the GPA of the student in two different semester and find the overall CGPA of two semesters. Means that we need to find the overall CGPA of the two semesters. Correct? Okay. So here they are saying that it is a maintain of GPA, but many of the students think that the GPA of the student must be secure. So I'm going to define this GPA of the student in private data member. Just you can think that. Assume that I'm going to consider class first semester. In that, I'm going to define a CGPA. Normally, it must be in a floor. GPA. So this is my concept. Then GPA is GPA is my private data member, and I am going to define a one constructor, or otherwise maybe it is any one function to define what is the CGPA of my first semester, the particular semester. So GPA. So now just I am going to assign that. So this pointer GPA equal to, so GPA is a local variable. Now we are defined. Okay, now the semester one is over. If you want, you can provide a function to display the CGPA of the particular semester. So the CGPA of GPA of semester of first semester equal to. So I'm going to define GPA. Means I'm going to display the GPA. Same way, I'm going to create another one more class. Okay, copy, and I'm going to paste it here, and I'm going to make it as a second. So the same class, it is a second. So then here also the same thing. So instead of this, just only there is a changes on a printer. It is a second class. That is for second semester. So here I'm going to compile. So iostream.h is missed. Now I'm going to compile. Declaration termination incorrectly. Must be defined. Just a minute. Yeah, sorry, this is a second class. The constructor need to be changed. Yeah, so there is no error. But still now I didn't create an object, so that I'm going to create an object for the first class. So then, so I'm going to define the CGPA 8.3, and the next one is the second 8.75. So I'm going to take a show function. Sorry, object name is missing. F1, S1. So I need to call the show method just to display the value of both the value, because those are member functions. Now I'm going to compile. So no error. Then I'm going to run it. So still I didn't use any friend function definitions here. Yeah, just a minute. So just I'll just show the output is the mark of the two means the CGPA of two different semesters. So I want to find the overall, means I want to find the overall CGPA, but actually we know that the different method we need to for overall CGPA, but just here I'm going to do that the average of CGPA, but it is not the correct choices, but just for understanding purpose of the concept of friend function only, just I'm going to add this CGPA and find the average. Clear? But actually it's not like that. We need to multiply with means the number of credit points, then we need to calculate it. But here I'm not going to calculate the exact way to calculate it. Just I'm going to find the average. Okay, so here the GPA of the first semester and GPA of the second semester both are So both are as a private data member. So those private data member is not possible to access outside. So that by using a friend function logic, we are able to access in. Clear? Assume that I have to define everything inside of the function itself, so that I'm going to make it as a function is a void. But we can make it as in the future. Don't worry. Okay, so void, and I'm saying my function is calculate. So for that, I need an object for the first one. If I semester object, but actually surely there is an error will be displayed because the second class will be defined only outside. I mean so that after that. So here also it is a friend function. So friend. So void is void calculate first semester and second semester. Okay, now I'm going to define it void. So calculate. So it is a fast definition. So that the object must be present. Okay, so here I want to access the CGPA for the first semester. I mean the GPA of the first semester and GPA of the second semester by 2. Just understanding concept of but friend function, just I'm using like that. But actually here we need to multiply with the number of credit points to find the answer. So here I need to define a one local variable that is called float CGPA. You know that for the local variable, the memory only allocated on means only allocated in stack memory. So the CGPA value is CGPA is displayed. So we know that if you want to access, we have to access only with the help of function name. So calculate. Then there are two objects. Here we need to pass object as argument. F1, S1 will be passed as argument. But surely there is no error that the second class is an issue. So just a minute, the friend is void is a calculate. So that first you have to define there is a class, like you have to show to the compiler that there is a class already exists. So no error. So normally if you are, this is the name of the class, but it's a top, the compilation takes place from the top to bottom, so that we need to instruct that the compiler that there is a declaration of the class. You mean this is type of the class is defined at bottom of the document, same file. So that if you are sharing the particular function for more than one class, so we need to define it for more than one class also, so that in that time we have to define the class declaration before that. This is the important thing you should remember while you are sharing that a particular function for more than one class. So now there is no problem. So that the CGPA value is 8.525. Just we are finding the average of 8.3 and 8.75. So like that we need to calculate. Also instead that if you don't want it, for example, so if you don't want CGPA to printed here, just you can return CGPA. And here instead, we know that instead of this void, the data type must be present. So just you can, wherever the declaration we have, it must be changed. There are two friend function defined in two methods, so that we need to change. So here we need to change this instead of this void, we need to change this a float. So now the in function definition everything changed. So that we need to make a call, changes on function call. So you have to receive the help of any variable, or we can use directly in printer. So I'm going to use directly in output statement. The CGPA value is. So just I'm going to go to new line for easy understanding. Just I'm going to compile, no error, and I'm going to run the program. It will display as usual. So first of all, you should know how the function in execution takes place. Object is created, so the corresponding the constructors will invoke. then it will print out by using the member function. Here show is a member function, it is not a friend. So but if it is a friend function, we know that it is not a member of the class. See that automatically it will call that calculate method, then it access the values and return the value and it will be printed. So as usual, normal thing, so that if you want to share more than one class, we know that if you want to make one function as a friend class, that the class must be shared. It means that object must be an argument. So that here I to find, we needed two different parameters. Means we need to access from the two different parameters. Means two different classes. So that all the classes, if you want to make whatever the classes make it as a friend, all these things will be forward to, it will be sent as an argument. So whenever if you are sharing one function for more than one class, always it must be a friend, and also it must all the class object must be passed as argument. Then only we can make it as a friend to everyone. Okay, so if here I'm going to go with a little bit changes I need to do. I'm going to define how many number of the total credit point, for example, 21 for the first semester and second semester 23, just to our only assumption here. So that my formal parameter, now the parameter is changed because there are two parameters I need to obtain. So that one is int number of papers. So number of papers. So int number of credit point, and don't say it is a number of papers. So ncred. So I want to copy to the local variable to instance variable, so that we have to use this pointer. So same way for second semester also we must know the number of credit points. The number of credit points must be in integer. So the name of the formal parameter is not necessary to reflect the name of your formal parameter. Instance variable. But if you want to increase the readability of the process, always try to give a same name. So while using a friend function, first of all, what we need to do is we need to multiply with CGPA with the number of credit points. The same way we have to multiply with the number of credit points. And at the end, we need to add these two credit points. Sorry, the credit point from the first class, the object name is S, and f dot cred. Now compile. So that it's errors. ncred. Just a minute, I can check in. ncred. Sorry, it will be accessed by using opt-in. I did a correction here because these are all the proper data members of the classes, so that we can able to access by using the object name. CRED. Sorry, ncred. That is the name of the variable. So no error. That's what I'm going to run it. So that it returns. So from that, what we understand that if you want to use the concept of friend function, the logic is simple thing. We have to do as usual thing. But if it is a friend function, so that we are unable to access by using any object, so that instead of this as a current object, we need to pass object as argument. See that object as argument, but here it is a function is a friend for more than one class, so that all the object all the class object must be passed as argument. Then only we are going to combine all the classes for some manipulation purpose. Here I want to combine this class first semester and second semester for calculation, so that we are combining like this for making a calculation for doing some operations. So this is the way we are going to implement the concept of friend functions. According to our convenience, we have to define the way on the numbers we are going to access. And so especially if you are to go with the friend function, if it is a private data member, it is a best choice. You can go to private, it's a friend function. If it is not a private, if all the data members are a public, then not like to go for any friend function at all. We can access inside of the function itself because it is a public. So normally you can prefer to go with a friend function if it is a private data member, because like here I am assumed that every student think that the GPA of their percentage GPA must be on a secure. That means they think that it is a private. This is a confidential, like that they feel. So in that time I created this GPA as confidential information, so that I mention as a private, so that point to calculate the CGPA, so I need to have a friend function. See, it depends on the user perspective only. So I hope you have some clear understanding about friend function now. Thank you.